This is Vibe Science, a top 100 wellness podcast presented by the Radcast Network, breaking wellness barriers and making health truly personal. Here are your hosts, Ryan Alford and Chris Hansen.
Hello, and welcome to Vibe Science. I'm Ryan Alford, your co-host. I'm joined by my best friend, one of my co-workers and my business partners and my good buddy, Chris Hansen. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Ryan? How are you, brother?
Oh, dude, I'm got to get hopped up today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling spirited. You know why? Because we got the co-founder of Ark of Sweden, Dina Rogonja. What's up, Dina?
Yeah. Hello, guys. So happy to be here.
Hey, was that, we joked pre-hand, we had to pump you up, you didn't want that bad intro. Was that exciting enough?
Oh God, I told you, like in Sweden, everything is so, down to earth, very humble. And I just wanted like a big hype up moment the American way. So I'm like really excited to get pumped up.
Well, sometimes we keep the vibe on the show a little mellow, but I think given the product today, Chris, if you're okay, I got to make sure Chris is good with this. I'm going to dial the energy up a little bit. I can dial it up. I'm going to dial it up today.
Please do.
Dina, how's life? So we were in Sweden. How's Sweden?
Sweden is treating us well. I've actually just escaped the winter fully for the first time. So I'm just landing here now after a few months abroad. And it's the perfect time to come back. Spring is about to burst and people come out of their shells, out of their nests, out of the darkness, so to speak. And things are flourishing. So all good in the hood in Sweden.
There we go. Did you grow up in Sweden? Has this always been home, I assume?
I'm actually born and raised in Sweden. I come from a household of immigrant parents from I don't know if you know about the Yugoslavian war. I have a Balkan heritage, but I'm born and raised in Sweden. Always traveled a lot, I think, throughout my whole life. So always had a lot of influences on alternative lifestyles, let's call it that. Alternative ways of living, by just seeing a lot of things.
I'm glad you went there, Dina. Because it feels, we're going to talk a lot about Ark of Sweden, but it feels like you've had a lot of influences. And let's set the table. Talk about the journey of, entrepreneur, growing the company, entrepreneurism, and, building the brand that is Ark of Sweden.
Right. Well, I think like most people, we are sold this idea of going to college, getting the Volvo villa and the dog. And I think I was living abroad for a couple of years in Barcelona and on Malta after high school, came back to Sweden, went to college, got my degree, did a corporate for a year, had a little side company in very low-key marketing, B2B, and photography and film. But then while I was in the corporate world, I was like, and I went to the corporate world because of actually COVID. It was, I got cold feet and I thought like, I'm not going to be able to build a business in this climate. And so I went in there and it was from an American company, actually huge corporation. And I just felt so, I don't know, I felt like the smallest little ant out of the biggest stack. And I just felt, how am I even going to find my place in the world in this kind of environment? And it led me on to thinking what would give me the things that I want, which is location freedom, money working passively for me. So all of these things that were very much individualistic. And e-commerce came up to mind. started studying a lot on my free time and about it. And I eventually developed a brand. It was an eyewear brand with blue light blocking glasses. We went down that path. It was going, but we learned a lot, but we made so many mistakes. And in this journey, we discovered breathworks, and always been very into personal development. And yeah, just like I like efficiency. We like efficiency, and we like simplicity. We don't think things should be too serious or too complicated or too, processy. Things should be simple. So we discovered breathwork, and we saw, wow, this is like the wildest method of restart, reboot. And on that path, we also went into discovering our own supplements and so on. And we saw something similar on the market, and we thought, how can we make this better? And we developed Ark Drops. And due to this previous e-commerce that we had, we already knew exactly what we should not do, right? In order to create like a booming launch. And it was a boom. And since then, it's been a lot of fires to take out. I think the greatest personal growth journey that, you could ever consider. I mean, growing a business that where you also want to be of impact. You also want to offer people a product promise and a lot of value. And it's not easy when you do it on like this level without investors, without external people to help you. You just do it all by yourself, and every day is a new day, right, of discovery.
It's fascinating, with vibe science, we're trying to enlighten and curate, empower, people to get to their best self. And there's this recognition, and I think you've had this community and Chris and I I don't know that I'm like the president of the club or anything, but like this biohacking community, like where, we all want to get more out of ourselves, and we know there's more than modern medicine. Like, there's more than just being treated for conditions. There's optimization opportunities. And how was the discovery process like for you guys? It sounds like, you are somewhat part of that community there. How did you, what was that process like? And, was it testing? Like, I'd just be curious kind of just how you got involved in that community and what led down this road.
Yeah, no, we've been testing out like you said, like yourselves, like so many different supplements, and because you're so overwhelmed with so much, and it's like impossible at this point to like really choose. And you want to also make that kind of like perfectly calculated decision on like what is the best thing that I could like take, and not have to take maybe hundreds of supplements a day. And what we wanted was something as powerful, as a breathwork, and something of like instant effect, but also has like long lasting benefits to you in performance, right? And my team, everybody is like very dedicated to like fitness and feeling good within themselves. And at the beginning of our journey, I think we were also just very driven also from like a marketing perspective. What can we bring to the market that just is going to like get people, like get their attention and feel like, wow, this is an innovative way of thinking about supplements, right? It's like, what can we make that is so simple yet so powerful? Because in so many forums and places, you just see this like overly complicated like constellation of ingredients and all the science and all the everything, instead of like actually bringing like very digestible transparency to people, which I think like our product does. It's just very simple. It's a simple ingredient list. You know what you're getting, and with the value that we also bring with the breathworks that we've like developed that go together with the product, but also just in general shedding light on breath. I think just that is like a huge part of our brand, to just shed a lot of light on things that revitalizes us. And that was kind of like our concept from the beginning. Like, okay, we have this beautiful product. What's our product promise? Well, you will reconnect to your breath, you know, and these are all the different ways you can do that. And with the intimacy product, that's the same thing. Like, ignite the fire within you. Like, your sex life is what can really bring a lot of, you know, it can revitalize you. Your sexual energy is like very, very important in order to vibe high.
Yes. I love all that. And it's interesting because, you know, the most effective ways to, you know, that we're finding out, not only do they come from the earth and a lot of times plant-based, but sleeping, breathing, and getting out into nature and getting sun. Like, those are like
simple,
like the most simple biohacks that have the most effective. And then you can layer on some of these natural plant-based things. I mean, you know, no one wants to tell you that though, concept. Right?
Yeah. And that's literally our like concept. And as I said, like from beginning, maybe we were a little bit more focused on like bringing like a product that's just going to make a huge impact. And like, because we wanted to primarily generate, you know, capital so we can like really bring value in the sense of like, you know, knowledge and information and so on. But it's very hard to do that from a place of like, how to say, like your company is going down or whatever. So we were heavily focused in the beginning, just like marketing, like how do we get a product that is really, really like, it feels amazing, it's simple, but it catches people straight away. And that's what we did. And now our plan and well, with the rest of our products and our next product launch, like we want to keep targeting these fundamental behaviors that we have and remind people that those are the things like we need to also like, those are the primal things that we can return to, that is sovereign, that is ours, you know, like the sex, the breath, the mood, like just our overall mood, emotional body are all like fundamental things that can sometimes be forgotten in all of this. Like, take this supplement, it will make that whatever connection between your left muscle to your ass. Bro, I don't know. Like it's a very saturated and complicated, like everything is so, So we want to bring simplicity and we want to bring people back to like the fundamentals through these products that we have already and the upcoming.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think, and that's, you know, we're wanting to empower people like to take control of their own health and wellness. And I think to your point, there's a segment of people that are already doing that, but are getting a little probably confused and overrun with so many options. And then you've got this, I still think is the majority of people that think, you know, someone else is driving the car, you know, whether it's their doctor or whatever. But like, if you want to be your best self, if you want to maximize your productivity, you want to maximize your sexual health or all that, you've got to take that shit into your own hands. And that's the key here is the empowerment part of it. But let's do a little education. And then I know Chris probably wants to jump in and he's got a lot of experience on the breathwork side, but maybe talk, you know, about the breath work related to the product. Let's do some education for the audience, because I do think that this is not like common knowledge, unfortunately. And that's the goal here, is to make it common.
Yeah. So the two of them are separate entities. They're separate things. We have the product, we have breathwork. We offer both. They're lovely in combination because the product itself, when you take it, you clear your airways, right? It feels amazing when you do the breathwork, because when the airways are clear, it almost brings you to your breath. It's like, I want to breathe, And so that's the connection between them two. But the product, how it works, you have the instant effect, which is that it clears the airways, it opens up your sinuses, it feels like a wake up. But on a long-term effect, if you use it for like 10 days in performance aspects, or if you're asthmatic, not that I can make medical claims now because that's how it is with supplements, but how we've seen that it works and how our clients or customers say that it works for them is that the bronchial muscles we have in our lungs, they contract at a certain point. Either if you have asthma, or you are in peak performance, they can contract, right? And you just don't want to carry on. It gets hard. So what this product does is that it eases these bronchial muscles. So it actually stays open for a longer period of time. So you get better respiratory rate and you actually can have a better flow of air. And that's how, it is a performance booster. That's how it actually betters your performance and betters your breath in general. And we like this aspect of the breath because just bringing, the product, it's great. It's another product, but due to our passion around breath work and what an amazing way to find sovereignty, right? To kind of like reclaim that power. We want to offer that value to the people. So that's how they come together. You come to Ark of Sweden, you know that they are pros at breath. And with that comes the breath work.
Love it. Chris, I know you've had some experience and do some regular breath work. I'll let you kind of jump in a little bit here.
Doing it this morning in the sauna. Regaining my power and my sovereignty, of course, which I do. I feel that. I literally will sit in a sauna and be 10 people in there and I close my eyes and go into my little thing and I do in my mind.
It's even better when the people are there in the sauna. It's like,
and you know what?
Me, I'm doing it.
I used to be one of those guys like, who the fuck is this weirdo guy doing these deep belly breathing in the corner of the sauna? And now I am that guy, which I'm fully okay with because breathwork has been like you said it perfectly. It's so simple. It takes no time. It costs you no money. It's part of you. And even when we were talking, I was thinking about, I was training this morning and even my trainer telling me in the middle of sets, breathe. Even it's the simplest thing that it's our anchor in everything. When you think about it, even when you're like in a scared situation, right? You naturally start breathing your body. So I think why not try to practice on that and take control to a degree? And I had the thought this morning of like, wow, breath work really has become a daily thing for me. Like even in traffic, I'm like, all right, slow it down. And it was something I'd heard about for so many years and, never thought of trying it. It was fairy tale weirdo shit to me, to be honest with you. It's too simple, right? Because when you grow up being told that modern medicine is the only answer and you need to listen to your doctor, we've been stripped of that power in a way, I feel. So I love the way you put it. And I love even more the product because in a way, I think more people will get into breathwork because of the product. Like it's almost a tease into.
Because we figured doing this whole initial marketing strategy, right? With the reactions and everything, we figured, okay, we've reached, we're 1.5 million followers on TikTok. It's the mass. We didn't reach the yogis and the breath workers. Like they love our product, but they're a very small, portion of our customers actually. And so what we wanted was just like, okay, how do we make this, accessible and like, so they actually can digestible, right? So the breathworks that we offer are extremely simple, very effective, very short as well, and very explanatory. So like for a guy that is a highly skilled, that's been doing the 2-hour breathwork DMT journeys, they might see it as redundant, but like this is for the mass. This is for people to understand like how effective it can be. And just to highlight also, like our breath is like in the aspect of performance. We, like you said, we want to optimize our performance, and for that we need to reclaim, our own power of our body and our mind and our spirit in a sense. And it's all about like a reclamation almost. But the best way to get optimized performance is through presence. Like if you work out and you are present, like fully flow, present, breath, and the breath is the easiest access to presence, So if you like in your performance, you're like focusing on you, it's you're gonna have a great workout.
And what's sitting here thinking, like some of the ironies of things, like the super motivated and like people like high performers and like people that are trying to do biohacks, they're on the go, they're moving, like go. And I'm guilty of this myself. Like we don't stop to something that will help optimize what we're doing is stopping and seemingly in our mind becoming unproductive, but resting to breathe and to, like do these things when it will then improve everything else you do. Like that irony is kind of interesting to me, and I'm guilty of this. And I love this episode because it's reminding me, because I have been taking moments here and there to do the very few breath things that I know to do. And it's crazy how clear your head gets. And it really is almost magical how just breathing for certain ways for about like 2 or 3 minutes, like it changes like the way you feel. It's like, it's unbelievable. But I do think we've got to continue to empower people and to tell people to stop to do these things, and then leveraging things like Ark of Sweden to make it and take it to an even higher level or higher vibe.
Exactly.
I want to
That's why we
piggyback off
offer it.
that.
Yeah, go, Chris.
I thought the same thought, because I thought about when I'm in the gym doing this and there's all these, fit guys around, girls, and everyone's in that kind of savage mode, right? Everyone's throwing weights around. And I thought about that. How many people in there are, if they just took a step back, and if you look at a professional level with elite athletes, a lot of them are doing yoga and breath work. It's just, you don't see it on ESPN, right? But and I thought about it with that Pilates class I go to. The girl next to me breathes so loud, and it's my reminder. It's good. It reminds me, literally take a breath, dude, like recenter yourself, because the minute it starts in the mind and then all of a sudden your heart starts racing, you run out of breath. It's like taking that minute of pause. It's unbelievable. So simple. But I think I'm so interested to try the product now. Because I think it'll take my breath work deeper.
I don't think there's any like computer, system that doesn't need, a restart, a reboot, something to be able to process all that information. Like you can't just, on your Safari or your Google Chrome, you can't just have like 1,000 tabs up. Like you're going to get confused. Like what, like you just don't know what you're doing at some point. So it's more often we actually just take the time to recalibrate. I mean, the greatest yogis, meditators, whatever, like it's always the breath. It's nothing. That's the first step.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the only process in our body that we can really like control. It's the only thing that happens unconsciously because we can't survive without it, right? But it's also one of the few, if not only process we can like literally like control. And for me, that doesn't seem like a coincidence. I feel like there's a lot of power in that. We can use that to our benefits, and maybe even one of the greatest benefits of this body, because the breath is energy. The breath is it's great.
Yes. Talk about what are in the drops, and like what's the, ultimately, if you're listening, and throw Chris and I in there too, we threw this episode together, but we're going to get our hands on some product for round 2. We'll do an episode 2 follow up. But what can people expect from like the experience, with the drops, and what exactly are we taking in?
So it's a very, very high grade, pure oils, that it consists of peppermint oil, Japan mint, spearmint, MCT, coconut, stevia, and it's just like this very refreshing. And obviously this is all, it was many, many months of developing like a great balance that gives you this kick, but also tastes really nice. And it's very, very simple, pure, organic oils, and mixed. And you take you can regulate a little bit yourself how much you want to take for a breath work. I don't recommend like a full dose because it can be a little bit like intense. But for a workout, it's like just shoot and go, and do it. If you have like a sensitive stomach, we don't necessarily recommend it without a meal. So it's good to have like some meal before. But other than that, it's really just clean, all natural, organic. It's and it's as simple as it gets. And like the science is clearly based off of, the peppermint and the high concentration of peppermint, because what they did was that they had athletes, try water distilled with a lot of peppermint, and there comes like a lot of science in regards to like the bronchial muscles and how they expand over time and so on. So in this format that we have, we managed to concentrate like a high dose of it, but in a very digestible and manageable way. And it's you're gonna love it, I'm sure. Just make sure what's the most important is actually the awareness around the product, to understand that this is to breathe, to open up. It's not supposed to be like the salts that you were talking about, Chris, like failure. The salts give some sort of superpowers for 3 seconds, but I also think that it kills a lot of brain cells. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But it seems quite heavy on the brain. So this is all very, very digestible and very kind to the body. And it also does its magic when you use it a bit over time and you're in this high intensity environment. And but we have, for example, like an incredible amount of like office workers that loves our product, and office companies and stuff that buy the products as well, because they see it as a great supplement for the third cup of coffee. So instead of having that jittery cup of coffee, you can have some Ark drops, and you're like, whoa, wide awake for the meeting coming up. So it's a little restart in itself. Nice.
Well, everybody needs a little jump start. Speaking of jump starting, Ark Drive. We talk about empowerment. Sometimes it gets people think it's taboo, talking about sexual health and performance and all that. But hey, we want to empower your best self. So Talk to us about Ark Drive. Where was that just a natural product extension, like for you guys? Where did or was it talk about that, the journey of bringing that to life?
Yeah, no, it was, we wanted to, of course, we thought like, should we go on creating like versions of Ark Drops, or should we just be another, protein company? Like, it was because we had this flagship product that was just so powerful, but we can't just stay there, right? So that's when like this whole idea of like kind of optimizing our fundamental behaviors was born, and have that as like some North Star in how we develop products. And then we had this, we heard about like this honey, and we thought like, okay, if we take the honey, but we also take a lot of other, Chinese medicine is clearly our, inspiration. And we take a lot of other beautiful ingredients, as all natural, of course. What levels can we reach, right? And truly, it's not, for women, I would say it has its limitations. Women can feel a sense of warmth and maybe an increased sensitivity. But for men on a physical level, like, we're getting great reviews back. I think people who maybe who have maybe explored the chemical route of increasing
helps you vibe harder,
increasing, the power, the blood to the right places. And they are just so happy to have finally found like a completely natural, very transparent solution that is just action-packed with all the goodies. Because if you would, Google any of the ingredients that are in there, it's always going to say, for vitality, for sexual health, for all those things. And in some magical way with these natural things, it really directs the blood flow to the right place for men. And the best part is, I think that you need to kind of like be in the zone for it. It doesn't just happen by automation. It's like, if you have a partner or whatever, that's when it's just going to get very hot. And that's what people tend to come back to. Somehow it just makes things really hot.
Yeah. We got the
vibing hotter, vibing harder, baby.
I'm getting hot too. I'm like, woo!
It's like,
yeah, it's really,
it's like a natural
product.
Libido booster.
Yeah, for sure is. And it's very high concentrate, because I mean, there's other similar products on the market, but this one is like, in comparison to I would say, like, to other natural options, is that it's just very high concentrate of all these ingredients. That's why it has its price point that it has. That's why it is a premium product, because it really, like, for many, not for all, some people might have like a disconnection between brain and body, and then maybe it just doesn't work then, because you have other things you need to work through, right? But for most, we get like, it's the return rate of our customers on that product is, we're very happy about the return rate.
Yes.
Good market. Good niche.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good niche, but a hard product to market, because we want to maintain a level of premium. We want to be not about, like, we don't want to go on the sites where
you're not a gas station brand.
Exactly.
Which is typically where you see these type of products sold.
Yeah, we want to stay very classy and very, like, we want to be respected, and just by all, like, I mean, I'm a female owner. Like, I wouldn't want, just for me, out of personal gain, I don't get any gain by having my product on porn sites, because, like, right. I think that's actually ruining our sexual health rather than empowering our sexual health. Yeah. So put me where it's empowering, and I'm happy.
Yes. And I think that's part of like the discussion is sort of the travesty of the taboo nature that like this shouldn't be.
It's like
taboo.
We can watch that stuff, but we can't talk about it. Like what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or
like this has been categorized in the stigma of almost like icky, right? Like we can't talk about this.
When clearly it's
but if
part
I go
of
to a doctor and I get a script for Viagra from a guy in a white coat, it's totally cool in
that's okay.
high class, you know.
And there shouldn't be a problem or a stigma with any of it. You know, if it helps someone, you know, in a healthy environment and in a healthy way, reach something that is improving their health, their mental state, and their relationship. Like,
and what Dina said, right? Your sexual energy is really your most powerful energy, your creative energy. If you're not tapping into that, you know, like
you're not at your highest vibe.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's like at some point the reclamation of the sexual energy, but also like when you take responsibility for it, you don't just spread it all around or whatever. You actually like use it for good, whether it's in your relationship or whether it's in your work or whether it's in whatever it is that you do. Like sexual energy, I believe, is one of the biggest energies that's actually been used against us.
Yeah.
Like we've been so disconnected from it through all these different avenues and means and whatnot, the comparison that we see on a daily basis. Like, I mean, for women especially, like we're terribly disconnected from our like sexual, like, from our sexual energy. And it's sad to see because it's really a beautiful creative force, and it's sexual energy, and you know, money is a huge energy as well. And those are like the two big energies in the world that I think we should really learn how to deal with and create better relationship with. Because when we master those two, like the mindset around those two, like we really, really like empower ourselves.
But I think that's the thing is like we just haven't thought of being empowered, or you know, it's become, you know, the stigma taboo that like, okay, you don't plan ahead or optimize your experiences, you know, like because we've been conditioned that this is what it is. It's just over here, you know, versus we can improve all aspects, you know, like, and make things better.
Why shouldn't we?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, nobody can tell me, you know, that they, like, of course, we sitting here, we are privileged in so many ways, but we were also at a point where we didn't have as much privilege as we have now. We've done a journey like of self-discovery, of a lot of like introspective, dark, and not just introspective. We've had experiences in our life that are like, probably for me at least, like really, really crazy. So I know that there's a lot of people out there that just, you know, it's for them too. They just need to get to it, get to work. You can do it. And, you know, there's all the limitations that we think that we have, they could all be managed. I mean, the greatest people that have ever lived has been underdogs, a lot of them. You know, the ones that are remembered, the ones that have like a legacy, true legacy of goodness, usually are like proper underdogs. So
as we close out here a little bit, Dina, I know you've got some new products coming. I read something about Ark Bars. What can you talk about there?
This one is a very, very interesting one. I would say we're talking mood. We're talking upliftment. We're talking vibe. We're talking also consuming something in a very interesting, effective way. It's a product that we were going to have to educate people a lot around. It's also something that is considered Eastern, let's call it Eastern medicine, or maybe not even Eastern, but ancient. We're using these natural old remedies and bringing them out in a very modern format. That's what we've done with Ark Drops. That's what we've done with Ark Drive. That's what we're going to do with Ark Bars. It's just simplicity still, but reminding people of that in simplicity, there is a lot of power, and this product is very powerful, and it's just a old remedy that might have been forgotten, and we've put it in a format, in a very digestible way, easy consumable way, and we think it's a home run. We'll see.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm anxious.
Yes, I love it. Dina, where can everybody keep up, learn more? I know there's arkofsweden.com, of course, but give everyone our audience where to keep up with the brand and yourself and everything you guys are developing.
Yes. Ark of Sweden, Instagram, TikTok. You'll find us. We'll be the first one popping up. We have a lot of fake accounts. So we've been struggling. I mean, as many brands with the blue tick. So make sure to just follow Ark of Sweden. That's simple. Or go through our website, arkofsweden.com. We tend to inform, educate a lot there. Also easy to just leave your email on our website, and we'll be sending you out a lot of awareness, a lot of science, and just a lot of upcoming offers or whatever we got, information on what we're doing. And in regards to me, I do a lot of personal branding, a little bit more in the female embodiment and like female entrepreneurship space, but also a lot of music. I'm a big music DJing, that kind of route for me on a personal level. So it's on Dina_Rogonja. Not the easiest, but it's going to be here in the description somewhere.
Oh yeah, we'll have it. We'll have it, all those things in the show notes and links. And hopefully, as a partner with Vibe Science as we go forward, I think there's a lot of synergies here.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, we really appreciate you for coming on, Dina, and can't wait to follow the journey. Time, guys. Hey guys, you can find us vibescience.media. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can also get access to all our partners. And of course, vibesciencepodcast.com for the full episodes, highlight clips, show notes, and everything else. Chris and I are big on Instagram as well. Chris Hansen at Ryan Alford. We got those blue checks before you could buy them. We'll see you next time on Vibe Science. The content discussed on this show is provided for reference and educational purposes. The content is not an attempt to practice medicine or provide specific medical advice. Always consult your personal physician for medical advice and proper diagnosis.
Thanks for listening. This is Vibe Science. To learn more or watch full episodes, visit vibesciencepodcast.com. Here's to discovering your highest vibe